Yo, what's going on, everybody? Welcome to another week of the Mike and Mish Show, brought to you by Mission Accomplished. It is Thursday. It is 8 p.m. I'm Kyle. That's Mike.
I'm Mike Honnold.
Tonight, we got a really good show lined up for you. We got two guests. We got the BKFC matchmaker himself, Nate Shook, coming on in a second, and then we're gonna have a big-time veteran in the world of mixed martial arts and bare-knuckle boxing. Melvin Gillard will be on right after him. Quick shout-out to Massage Therafix. I'm going to throw their thing up here on the screen. Massage Therafix and Holding Hands Massage. They are registered with the Department of Veteran Affairs. So, you know, veteran soldiers out there can go get a referral from their provider and go see Jackie. Non-VA clients can just go to massagetherafix.com and schedule an appointment with Jackie. And of course, we got Killfoot Clothing, American-made products run by veterans. They are awesome. They make great clothing, and they also made the very first Mission Accomplished shirt that you see on Mike Honnold right this second. Ba-boom. All right, and without further ado, let's go ahead and bring on the man of the hour right here. His name is Nate Shook, and he is the matchmaker for BKFC. What's going on, Mr. Shook? How are you?
Hey, how's it going, guys? Thanks for having me.
Yeah, it's a pleasure to have you on here. Nate Shook, who is with the Bare Knuckle Fighting Championship, the fastest growing sport on the planet, the most exciting combat sport out there right now, if you ask me and Mike. How you doing, sir?
I'm doing great.
So we got some questions on the process. We got some questions about your life. Happy anniversary! We saw that you just had your 2-year anniversary. You and your wife Katie. Did you guys do
anniversary?
Yeah. Did you guys do anything special?
Just went out for some dinner. You know, our anniversary fell on a weekday, so we celebrated over the weekend. But it was nice just to have time together.
There you go. So you're not just a matchmaker, right? You recruit new fighters. You put together the entire promotion, correct?
I wouldn't go that far, but there's a lot that gets done, from finding new venues, recruiting new fighters, setting up tryout locations, responding to 60 to 80 applicants a day through the online process where people are applying to fight through our website. Looking for new promoters to join Toe the Line Fight Series. It's a lot more than just putting a couple fights together and showing up to fights wearing a suit.
All right. So you were responsible for bringing back one of my favorite fighters of all time, Mr. Chris Lieben, for his final fight at Knucklemania. Thank you for that. That was unbelievable to see live. And it was so special. We got to see Chris knock somebody out twice. So, basically, thank you for that, sir. And do you think that moving forward, Chris is really done, or could a name pop up in the future that could bring him back for one more?
Obviously, I don't speak for him, but I think we saw his last fight in the squared circle. We were out at the tryouts in Arizona, and I just kept talking to him about it because he's one of the most entertaining fighters of all time in any combat sport. And I told him that if he ever wanted to come back, obviously the door was wide open, and he took me up on the offer a couple months later, and we got to witness his farewell fight.
Awesome.
So also at Knucklemania, we got to see Britton Hart versus Paige Van Zandt and Starling versus Segala, which blew me away. I mean, that was an amazing fight. It got fight of the night. And that 125-pound division has an empty, vacated belt right now. And I feel like there should be a big fight on the horizon. I personally, in my opinion, I feel like we know one person that should absolutely fight for that title, and I would say that would probably be Christine Faria. And going by record, I would say with the most amount of wins and experience would be the winner of the main event would be Britton Hart. So that's who I technically would put together, the two at the top. But there could be some fighters that might be being signed or coming back. What do you say?
I think Knucklemania really showcased the female division. We're getting a lot of interest from professional female fighters from across the world, Canada, Germany, Russia, along with across the United States. By far, you mentioned two amazing fighters. However, they've already fought each other previously. So I don't see that being a fight that gets made in the near future. But there are a ton of exciting matchups that we can make in that division, including those two females, along with many others that we have signed.
And do you already have something planned for Paige? I heard her on the BKFC podcast this afternoon. She said that is that common knowledge yet, or is that something that's going to be announced soon?
We do have plans for her. It's not released yet. It will be a fight that I think fans are going to really enjoy. But the company will release that when the time's right and the date.
I wanted to ask you. You said that other people from other sports are reaching out to you guys. Are you talking like boxers, or are you talking MMA, or both? Because there's a few names, like Christine Faria said that she would love to fight Amanda Soriano. And I know her sister is also a boxer. Would the two of those sisters be on the possibly in the pool of options? Maybe Heather Hardy, somebody like that, or even fighters that had previously fought in the promotion, like Beck Rollins and Helen Peralta. Is it possible that they come back for another run?
All five of those people you mentioned are really amazing fighters that we would love to see in the square circle. None of them are ones that I'm speaking with currently. I'm talking with a female from Canada that is a professional kickboxer, one from Germany and one from Russia, both with very impressive records. And then several females in the Southeast and the Midwest that have great records looking to cross on over from other combative sports.
Awesome.
Nice. So going to the co-main event on Knucklemania, we saw Dat versus Bedford. Great fight, super close. I think Kyle and I would both say it could have went either way and went to Dat. He had a great game plan, fantastic fight, fantastic night. And Bedford, through rumor, I haven't spoken to Johnny Bedford, but through rumor, he supposedly might be going up to 145. I would personally would like to see the rematch between him and Dat, which would be awesome. I think he does deserve it because he was undefeated at that point. But is Johnny Bedford moving up? Can you tell us? Or
so Johnny's already fought at 145 pounds against Charles Bennett. So him fighting at 145 is definitely a possibility that we have. He cuts, it seems to be, he cuts a lot of weight to make 135. And I think at 145, he'd obviously be one of the top fighters in the weight class. So hopefully we get to see him at 145 compete with some of the other bigger names. But like you said, him versus Dat rematch would be amazing.
Absolutely.
Nate, I wanted to ask you about Vacant Titles. Now, is there a reason why the fight coming up on March 19th between Leonard Garcia and Joe Elmore, Garcia being the international bare knuckle champ, and there is no BKFC 165 champ, did you guys talk about maybe possibly making that a title fight, or was there a reason why that wouldn't be for a title?
Like you mentioned, Garcia's title came from a third-party sanctioning, so it's not a BKFC title. We release our belts, or have released our belts, through the tournament process. So keeping with that standard, we would end up doing a 4 or 8 person tournament to determine who would be the next champion. That's the model we've been with. That's the model we're going to continue to go with. I'm not saying that there won't be one-offs where maybe there's a certain weight class that the only fight that makes sense for the title is 2 individuals, but we haven't come across that yet. We want people to at least fight through the 4-man tournament to earn that title.
Awesome. So does that mean like the Vacant 125 title will have a 4-person tournament for the women's title? Or is that a different story because you've already had a belt and it's just vacant at the time?
Yeah, that's something we're talking about right now because like you said, we had a champion there at one point, and with it being vacant now, we have to really sit down and decide it. But hypothetically, let's say the next men's class that doesn't have a belt will be 145 pounds. So we have a 135 pound champ. Let's just say 145. We decide to do that for the title. We would establish that champion through the 4-man or 8-person tournament.
And you guys got a stack of killers at 145 too. So I could imagine that you're going to have some fun putting together that one with Artem and Knight and Good John coming back and Bedford moving up. If Bedford moves up, you could really stack a hell of a tournament for that belt for sure.
Absolutely. I mean, John Schaubeck just showed how tough he is. You know, he's 13-0 outside of bare knuckle, and obviously 1-0 bare knuckle. Jim Ehlers could make the cut to 145. I mean, our 145 pound class is definitely loaded with talent. That if that was something we chose to do next, you know, we would have the names there for it. But again, you know, 165, 175, 185, you know, 205. I mean, we have, you know, several weight classes that don't have established champions. That if you look into, say, 175, you know, Dakota Cocker and Marcel Stamps, you know, Keemon Evans. I mean, there's just tons of them. Julian Lane. I mean, you can go down the list, and that's not even going into, like, you know, Thiago Alves making the cut to 75. His last fight was at 180. I mean, yeah, there's an argument for every weight class that we have 8 individuals that you could put into a tournament, and potentially any of them could come out the victor.
You gotta. It's a good. I mean, you must have a fun job, man. Like, you got a lot to choose from for sure.
Oh yeah. So at our office, we have a wall probably 20 foot long, maybe 8.5 foot high, painted with a special paint you can use a dry erase marker on. And I was down there today for probably 6 hours writing down, you know, names and going through our database and, you know, not our rankings, but our weight classes and who we have in each weight class to try to see some exciting fights, because let's face it, Knuckle Mania was an amazing event. And if the future shows, you know, don't live up to the same hype or close to it, you know, people are going to look at it as a lesser show. We never want people to look at a show and be like, well, this is, you know, significantly lesser than, you know, previous events.
That's awesome. If you promise not to tell our bosses, we might have spent 6 hours talking about matches too, but we're not getting paid for it. Well, maybe we are. Maybe we are technically.
Yeah. Oh man.
So I have to bring up Brandon Lambert. So you know, we watched his rise to be able to fight in BKFC. He was on the Mission Accomplished show, and now he's back on social media all over everyone, our page, your page, everywhere, and he is trolling big time, trying to get that Good John fight. What do you think about that fight? Is that a possibility, or is he better off staying at 135, or is he, you know, or is he going to come back?
You know, I can see him coming back. 135 is definitely out of the question. Even if that's something he wanted to do, I wouldn't make that match again for him at that weight. I didn't realize how much weight he was cutting.
Yeah.
So, yeah, when we have him back, it'll be at 145 or maybe 155. But the Good John fight, from my perspective right now, isn't even something I'm considering. It's nothing against Brandon, but there's 2 different paths. And I think right now there's plenty of people out there for him to fight that don't have the name Tyler.
I have to agree with you. And I think the best fight for a Good John right now, I do love John Lee Chalbeck. I think that would be an awesome fight. So
who Brandon called out as well.
Yes, exactly. Right.
Brandon's really working on his impression game, man. He's really got that thing going right now.
He knows how to. He understands it. He knows how to market himself.
Yeah.
You know, nobody knew what he was going to bring to the ring. Nobody knew how much professional experience he had. At the end of the day, like, it was an unknown, and he could have came out there, got hit once and went down. He could have came out there, thrown 3 punches and won by knockout. Nobody knew. He was probably the 3rd most talked about fighter on the card, obviously next to Paige and Chris. So he got people's attention, and yeah, he went out there and he performed the best of his ability.
You got Lambert in the comment section right now. Chalbeck is a fraud.
I told you he was calling him out too.
Right on cue. I got a viewer that's asking. Please ask Nate, what is Rob Braz's role in BKFC? I don't know who that is.
So Rob's our marketing director.
Okay.
Great guy. Very intelligent when it comes to all the tech stuff, YouTube, social media, things like that. I can't talk a lot about it because I'm not that intelligent on that subject, but he does amazing things for the company. And, you know, it shows in the work. Like when you see the commercials that get put out and just the response that we have, check out our YouTube. I think we're, you know, pushing 126 million views or something on YouTube, over 500,000 subscribers. People forget how young of a company we are when they start comparing us to other major players in combat sports. And, you know, we don't overlook the fact that we are a major player in combat sports, despite the fact of only being, 30 months old or something.
The rise has been incredible, like from start to finish. And I tell everybody the same thing. The app is the most worth your dollar amount app out there out of all the combat sports apps out there. The BKTV one, like you could literally go back and watch every single fight that you guys have ever had. I love it. I watch it all the time. Maybe even at work.
Yeah, and there's going to be a lot more coming, a lot more behind the scenes stuff. Obviously, the tryouts, we're starting to pick back up. We have Bare Knuckle Kingdom. We have other organizations that are going to be streaming on there as well. Toe the Line is coming back and going to be doing multiple shows this year. So it's for a couple of dollars, like they say, for less than a cup of your favorite coffee out there. You can watch combat sports, the premier, most entertaining combat sports in the world right now, for a couple bucks.
So Bare Knuckle Kingdom, the fighters on that card, will you be bringing some fighters from Bare Knuckle Kingdom into BKFC if they make the cut, so to say?
It's something I would definitely consider. I'll sit down and talk with David about it. But I know several of those fighters personally. Steve Banks, for example, I've known him for well over a decade, probably close to 15 years. Very exciting fighter, a large heavyweight, very well accomplished across other combat sports. If he gets an impressive win, is that someone that we want to bring over and challenge after a couple of fights, obviously, for the heavyweight title? We'll see, but that card is going to be really entertaining. So hopefully everyone tunes in and watches it.
I'll be watching for sure.
Hey, Nate, I wanted to ask you this. This is like me and Mike were spitballing because we love the product and we're like, it's growing so fast. What are different ways that would you ever consider a cross promotion with like Bellator did with Glory Kickboxing and Bellator did a crossover with Ryzen? Would you ever consider doing a cross promotion with a company like Bellator? Because you guys have fighters that came from Bellator. Bellator has fighters that came from BKFC. Maybe you could set up a Beck versus Page part 2 with no gloves this time. Set up an Austin Vanderford versus Lorenzo Hunt type thing. You know what I mean? Would that ever be, or is that completely off? No way in hell would that possibly happen.
So that's out of my little bucket of responsibilities there. Conversations like that, David Sr. would have to take the reins on and decide what he wants to do and what he thinks is best for the company. But like you said, we can sit here and dream matchmake fights all day long. It comes down to opportunity and cost.
Right.
And if people are signed with other promotions, and obviously we're not going to go out there and try to even start the conversation with them because that's just not a good way of doing business. But if there's a fighter out there that, we have our eye on, I'm sure Dave could pick up the phone because, again, I keep reiterating the fact that, we are one of the largest combat sports promotions right now in the world. And he has the other phone numbers for the major players. So he can, pick up his phone, give them a call, see what they can make happen. And if that's something he chooses to do. But right now, obviously, people sit in the office and talk about matches we'd like to see from all aspects of the world, fighters from all over the place. But there is no active plans, at least that I'm aware of, to cross promote anytime soon.
Okay.
So when it comes to heavyweights, there's a couple of big name heavyweights that got released yesterday from the UFC. You're probably already aware of it.
Absolutely.
Junior Dos Santos and Alistair Overeem, which I feel like, especially Overeem, when I say this, maybe Junior Dos Santos might be on the way out, but obviously I hate to speculate stuff like that. But his last 4 fights were TKOs, and they were a little bit scary, because he used to be very, very good. So it's a little worrisome. But Alistair Overeem, I mean, he was doing pretty good, and I feel like he would be a great addition. And you guys picked up Paige. Is that somebody that you would be interested in bringing over? He was a kickboxer.
Me personally, I'm fans of both those fighters. So it'd be foolish if I didn't say that I would love to see them fight without gloves on and just knuckling up. Again, the fighters like that. I mean, I don't think they were even released 24 hours ago, maybe. So these are conversations that the organization or company has to sit down and talk. But of course, I'm going to say I'd love to see them fight without gloves. And I think any combat sports fan that knows who either one of those gentlemen are would love to see it, because they were fighting for the largest mixed martial arts promotion in the world against the top competition in the world. So the majority of the fighters, except for a small handful, are going to take a loss or two at those levels.
Yep.
Granted, they might not be in the prime that they were 10 years ago or something, but they're still very talented fighters that could still compete. So if the opportunity arises and we'd ever get to see either one of them or both of them in the squared circle, I think fans would love it. I think people would tune in to watch because they're heavyweights. They can put people to sleep with one punch, and it's a different sport. There's no knees, there's no kicks, there's no grappling and takedowns. It's 2 people toeing the line, punching each other for 5 rounds, 2 minutes each, and both those men, I think, could successfully do that for a long time.
I think they would both fit perfect, and I kind of agree with what you just said, because JDS isn't going to be getting kicked or taken down or anything like that, and he's one of the best boxers from the UFC's heavyweight division. I think he would do just fine with the gloves off, if you ask me.
If you watch how Overeem moves, you can tell just the level of experience he has and how much experience he has in the different striking combat sports. And like you mentioned with JDS, he still has speed and still has power. These are 2 things that in his arsenal he could bring on over to bare knuckle and be successful with. So not having to worry about takedowns, helps out a lot of these fighters a lot. So both of those men, as a matchmaker, as a fan, I would love to see on the BKFC roster.
Excellent. I know Mike had a few questions about the website. I also do. Do you have anything to do with that? Because you guys have a bunch of fighters, like we named a few of them. Like I believe Gabe Gonzaga is still on there. Helen Peralta is still on there. Beck Rollins. Is there a reason why they're still listed under the fighters on the website? Like they could be coming back at some point, or are they completely gone and it just hasn't been updated?
I'll have to check with that department. And we're pretty, I would say, compartmentalized, but we have people that work on specific things. I'll have to check with them to see why they're still on there and what the path is. It could be something just showing, the level of fighters that we had compete in the organization. So when people go on there, if they're new to the organization, if they're new to the company and they're checking it out, well, maybe they click on there and see a fighter that they were a fan of, even if they may not fight for us anymore, and then go to the app and look for the fight and then download the app, subscribe, and watch it.
Yeah, that makes sense. They can go back and find the fight. That does make sense to me.
Right. Yeah, you can look up their fights on the BKTV app, so you can still watch everything. So they're not fighting now, but they were fighting, and you can look up their fights. What I was looking forward to seeing on the website is breakdown in divisions and rankings with stats behind the fighter. You click on it, you can see the fights, the stats, and all that good stuff.
Yeah, and that's something that has been in the works and is coming along. There's a certain way we want it done, and we don't want to put out a product that's substandard with that. you see some other rankings floating around, and then people are messaging me saying, hey, why is this guy ranked this or this person's ranked that? And I have nothing to do with those rankings. So when we do have rankings come out, we want to have a solid basis for it and not just, well, this person's 1-0, so they're ranked 9th in the world. So we were hoping to have it done after Knucklemania, but it's looking more like early May time is when we'll finally have it solidified and released.
Hey, understandable. You got to have a great product. You don't want to, quality versus quantity, I guess is what they say. You want quality, and this is a quality product, and it should always be quality. And I totally understand that.
Well, we have a lot of eyes on us. We
Yep.
have, people in all forms of entertainment looking at our product. And if something is put out there that's substandard, we don't want that looking like that's what our product is, because, as both and everyone watching this, we have a very high quality news sport that's super entertaining, and we don't want to water down anything.
No.
And I would suggest to anybody that's out there watching, get to an event live.
Yeah.
Like experience one of these fights live, because on TV it's amazing, of course, but like in person, the sounds, the blood, like everything about it was so. The walkouts at Knucklemania were fantastic. The whole pageantry of the whole show was top notch, and I had no complaints at all about Knucklemania, at least, and that's the only one that I've been to. And I will say that everybody I talked to were like the friendliest, like down to earth people, willing to shoot the shit a little bit and talk about the product and the company and whatnot. Everything, top notch, man.
Yeah. Well, we have a wonderful team. Everyone's proud to be a part of the team. Everyone works hard, and we help each other out. And like you said, when you take that pride in the product, it shows to people. And when people come to an event, they realize that it's a whole new experience, because you hear the punches, you get to take in the atmosphere of it. And even though the fights are exciting on TV, when you're there and you feel the rush of the show, there's nothing like it.
I know that you once said that there's 3 things that are unique: the middle finger, the pump of a shotgun, and the bare fist hitting somebody in the face. And boy, is that a true statement.
Yeah, and until people experience it and hear it in person, they'll never understand.
No.
Sam Sigler in the comments is asking about Shannon Briggs. Is he ever gonna fight with the BKFC? His name has been brought up a bunch of times. I know that.
I'd love to see him fight BKFC. I know him and David Sr. have been in talks previously. He's not on an upcoming card. I know that. Okay.
Now, the let's just talk about, before we let you go, we got you on here for a while. BKFC 16, Biloxi, Mississippi, March 19th. One unbelievable main event. Like, I know the card's stacked. The card is like, I didn't know you guys could put together a card like this immediately following the Knucklemania card, because that one was so stacked. But this one with Chop Chop and Reggie Barnett, and you got Brad Kelly and Ellen Brito, and you got you got a stack of killers. But that main event, being a combat sports fan for years, I'm almost 40 years old. I've been watching Leonard Garcia since WEC days. Yeah. And I see this fight in my head with Joe Elmore with the potential of a Garcia versus Korean Zombie level of classic. You know what I mean? When you were putting this card together, how are you feeling when you were putting this thing together?
This is a fight that when we got Joe Elmore, this is a fight that I wanted to see as a fan. Both fighters, all they know how to do is stand in the pocket and throw. Neither one takes a step backward. When you talk about heart, dedication, and aggression, these are two of the fighters that come to your mind, especially at that weight class. I have no clue what's going to happen in this fight, but if it lasts 30 seconds or 5 rounds, it is going to be entertaining, in my opinion. I'm really excited about this one.
And for those out there that are watching this show that if you have not seen, you've all seen Leonard Garcia, I'm sure. Joe Elmore, go get on the app, go get on the BKTV app and watch his 2 fights in BKFC, because that dude, he swings with bad intentions I don't know how he has any energy left come the 5th round against Tom Schoaf, because he throws so damn hard every single time he throws a punch. It seems like he's getting the energy from his feet every single time. By the 5th round, I would imagine his gas tank would be empty, but that fucking guy just keeps going.
He does, and both of them can take a punch and it can give a punch. I'm excited. I'm really excited for that one.
And a question in the chat room: is BKFC coming to New England area anytime in the future? I know you deal with. What do you got?
We'll be in the Northeast. I'm predicting in 2021.
Yes.
Can you tell we're from the Northeast with that? Like,
yeah,
we don't have to get a plane ticket to this one.
Yeah.
Yes.
No, if it wasn't for COVID, and I think we would have been there last year, but with the talks going on, the people I'm speaking with outside the organization, there's a great possibility for us to be there, and there are areas we can go to and do events. It's just a matter of COVID and traveling and things like that. But as long as the country continues to open up, I definitely see us up there.
We got the 2 tribal casinos right nearby in Connecticut, the Foxwoods and Mohegan Sun. They both have really great venues that I know Foxwoods puts a lot of kickboxing and like Glory Kickboxing. Mohegan Sun does a lot of MMA, but I'm sure those would draw a crowd.
And I get hit up every single day from fighters up there, New York, Boston, Vermont, Connecticut, just eager to get on the card. A lot of them are asking when we're going to come up there, when we're going to do tryouts up there. And being from Pennsylvania, obviously, I'd love to have a show in PA or the Northeast.
Oh, yeah.
You're from Allentown?
Right outside Allentown, yeah.
Because we train at Indiantown Gap, Yeah. Have you ever been around that area?
Yeah, I used to pass it all the time.
We've done some like 50 caliber ranges out there and stuff like that. So it's like a little
nice lodging out there too, on base for you.
Yeah. yeah, right. Oh man, I went to PLDC back in 2005 to get my E5 to become a sergeant. I went to Allentown, Pennsylvania. On the 2nd week of January, and I had to do land nav out in the woods in the snow. Like, my memories of Indiantown Gap were like I had it with that place.
Yeah, it's it looks nice driving by, but the lodging there didn't look very impressive.
Yeah.
All I have to say is
Yeah.
Do you wanna put anything out there before we let you go for the evening? Thank you so much for coming on here, but I know you have a few events coming up other than the Biloxi, Mississippi one, March 19th. Do you have any dates that we should keep an eye out for? Any fights that we should know about if they're not, if you're not allowed to tell us, go ahead. You're the boss.
No, it's all right. March 20th, we're having tryouts just outside of Birmingham, Alabama. We have nearly 100 people already pre-registered. So if anyone's interested in trying out, please go to the website and fill out the registration form. And it's a first come, first serve type of thing. We do have restrictions on how many people can get in. If you're still within the window of people, I'll send you an email congratulating you. April 23rd, Toe the Line 3 will be coming up to Montana, it looks like. We're pretty excited about that one. And then April 30th, we'll have BKFC 17. More information to come on that. And then we'll hit May hard, and we got some big surprises in store for May, June, and July.
Outstanding. Awesome. Mike, you have anything else for Mr. Shook before we get him out of here?
I just want to say thank you for coming on. It was great to talk to you. Hopefully we can get you on again and, in the future, and we'll hit it off again and see what's going on at BKFC and how you guys are growing.
Yeah. Thank you again so much. Really quickly, Two of our major sponsors, Tiger Life Energy Drink. You guys were down to show. You saw the product, probably tried it. It's an amazing energy drink, clean. I highly suggest it. And Fusion CBD products. They have water, they have rubs, they have all sorts of stuff. Try them out. It's a great product as well. And for those looking for more information about tryouts, if you forget about the website, just follow me on Instagram, BKFC_matchmaker.
Yeah, I threw your Instagram at the bottom of the screen there for everyone to see. Funny story about the Tiger Life guys. Me and him were standing by the ring at the weigh-ins and we're drinking it. And I'm like looking at the can. I had never tried it before.
Yeah.
And I was like, man, this stuff is pretty good. You try it? Yeah, Mike tries it. He's like, man, I think with some vodka, this shit would be delicious. All of a sudden, this gigantic guy is like, yeah, it's called a TNT. It's Tito's and Tiger Life. And we're like, oh, yeah? And then he goes, yeah, check out this commercial. And he shows it. And we're like, oh, they got a commercial? He goes, yeah, he's like, we got a commercial. And I'm like, oh, you're Tiger Life? And they were like the coolest guys. We ended up talking to them for like 15, 20 minutes later.
That was probably Chris.
They were wearing the shirts the whole time. We didn't even realize it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Great guys. They come out to all the shows. They're very supportive. They have an amazing product, and it's growing. And we love that they're a part of helping us as well as we help them.
And they're from the Northeast like us up in Long Island. So
yeah.
Yeah. They're right down the street. So all right, man. Thank you so much for coming on, Mr. Shook. Hope to run into you one of these times down at one of the events. I always feel a little nervous about talking to people like you or Mr. Feldman at an event like that because there's so much shit going on. You know what I mean? You guys are getting pulled in every direction. So
yeah, the one thing I will say is, like, if you come on up, we probably have 100 things on our mind. So if we draw a blank or something, don't hold it against us. And if we're short or brief on something, again, don't hold it against us, because between production and dealing with the fighters and dealing with everything else going on that day, it can get pretty crazy for us. But by all means, anytime you see us, come up, say hi. It's always good to talk to people.
I can tell you this, that if we do get down there and there's some mayhem and you need somebody that's really good at herding cats, you got a master sergeant and a sergeant first class, a future sergeant first class over here that are really good at herding cats. You know what I'm saying?
Oh,
yeah. You just say, Mike and Mish, can you rally the troops over here and help us out? And we got your back, bro.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much, guys.
All right, man. Have a good night. Thank you so much for coming on.
You too. See us.
Take it easy. Mike.
Hello.
That was the that was the BKFC matchmaker, Mr. Nate Shook. That was pretty cool, man. He's a very down-to-earth guy. He has a very important job. I have some news for you, sir.
You have news for me?
I have some news for you and anybody who's watching at home. If you're paying attention right now, we were supposed to have Mr. Melvin Gillard on. We are no longer having Mr. Melvin Gillard on.
Oh, boy.
But do you know what? He had his training session went late and he will not be making it tonight. Unavoidable. But you know who we do have? Mr. Chop Corley.
Oh, wow.
Mr. Chop Corley is going to be here very soon. I just got word from his people, the great Kevin Smith of Smith Brothers Combat Sports. We should have him very shortly. He will be featured in the co-main event at the upcoming BKFC 16 in Biloxi, Mississippi. He will be fighting Reggie Barnett Jr. So, you know what I mean? Listen, we hit curveballs all the time, Mike. We roll with the punches. We change up the plans, contingency plans.
That's right.
Now, we did a lot of show prep tonight to talk to Mr. Nate Shook and Mr. Gillard. We're going to be shooting from the hip with Chop Corley.
Would have been dead.
Yeah. So we're gonna talk with the man. And hey, do you want to do a speed round with him? I got questions.
Yeah, let's do it. It sounds good to me.
Yeah. So I got questions. We'll do a speed round with Chop. We'll find out how he's feeling going into a fight with Reggie Barnett. I mean, Reggie Barnett is a killer in his own right. So while we're waiting on Chop, we got Matt Lyle in the chat room. My boy, Matt Lightning Lyle, the Shins of Steel, the king of shins, the baddest mofo in Atlantic City, pound for pound, hardest kicker in the world. No kidding. Hey, Mike, did you know that Nate Shook was a retired first sergeant?
I did not.
I did not either. That is so cool, man.
Who said that?
He just did. He let me know.
Did he really?
How the hell did we not know that?
Here's the thing. No matter, I really looked into him for a long, way back, and I LinkedIn, Instagram, Facebook. I mean, I went way back, and I didn't see anything. I don't know.
All right.
Wish I knew that. Would have been a fantastic thing to know.
I'm gonna resend the invite to Kevin Smith real quick for Chop Chop, and we're gonna get him on here. He just sent me a screenshot. I wish we would have known that. We could have talked some Army shit with the man. That's what we do. What the
So he knows exactly where we're coming from.
Right, dude. I wonder if he did a little time over there at Indian Town Gap. I'm sure he did.
That's probably why he's like, oh, the barracks over there are pretty nice.
Yeah.
Not really.
Yeah. Wink, wink. All right, so Mike, our next guest, we're gonna swerve from the plan of speaking to the young assassin Melvin Gillard, and we're gonna bring on the man who will be fighting Reggie Barnett, the 86 fight veteran, 51 wins, 28 knockouts as a professional boxer. What a fucking animal this guy is. Let's go ahead and bring on. Hold on, let me clear off the screen here, and let's get Chop Chop Corley. Hello, sir.
Hey, how y'all doing, man? What's up?
What's going on? Hey, thank you for popping on here. We had, hey now.
Is Reggie over there?
I don't think so.
No, he's not.
I put it up there.
I mean, if he's watching and he wants to hop on here, we could just keep on rolling with the punches. How are you, sir? How's training going, and how's things heading into Biloxi?
Oh, things are going great here in Las Vegas. Had a great workout today. Worked with this young fighter, 13-0, quick hand speed, keeping me on my toes, man.
Now, for those who don't know, this is Chop Chop Corley, DeMarcus Corley. Longtime professional boxer, trained with Floyd Mayweather. We heard a story about you and Floyd Mayweather that was behind closed doors. That I don't know if that's something we talk about here. But did you drop that man one time?
Nah, that was never so. That's a lie.
That's a lie. Okay, we gotta debunk this bullshit.
This sport.
Somehow rumors get out like that all the time, and we were talking about this coming into the show earlier when we didn't even know you were coming on the show, and we were going back and forth going, I don't even know how we found this out, how it makes it out. You know what I mean? Like, people come up with all these stories, and all of a sudden it's on Mission Accomplished, and boom, here you are.
Yeah, it's great to have you on. So what do you think about Reggie Barnett? When you look at a guy like him, you have way more experience than Reggie. He's got some advantages with the youth. He's got the youth, but how you feeling heading into this one when you look at Reggie?
I just don't look at Reggie. I look at that win, Johnny Baffert, the other guys that also has competed. I'm coming into their playground. I'm the new kid, and this is gonna be new water that I'm treading in. So I gotta go in there with all blazing and show everybody that I can swim also.
Are you a Smith Brothers Combat fighter too as well?
Yes, I am. I signed with them. Yes.
Outstanding. How many this guy's just signing everybody. Kevin Smith is the super manager right now, huh?
Well, we're gonna make sure Kevin hold up his end of the bargain. Let's put this thing to work. It's all about marketing, promoting, and staying out there in front of the public.
So we know BKFC is new for you, and it's new for a lot of people. At the beginning of every fight, the fighters toe the line. What kind of preparation are you doing for that? You know, when they say knuckle up. When you toe the line, some people, so for the people that are watching, they're only like 3 feet apart. And if they say knuckle up and the ref says knuckle up, the fist starts swinging. There's been like a 2-second knockout. So how are you preparing for that?
I don't think Reggie want to jump right into the lines and just that quick when he say knuckle up. Reggie has a style of boxing. I have a style of boxing as well. We're going to see how Reggie react once he say knuckle up. If he come off the line like a pit and scratch, then you're going to see some shit happen.
Good to hear.
A lot of new fighters that come into the BKFC, I think in their first fight, they are surprised by how fast it starts. Like take Leonard Garcia's fight against Jim Ehlers. Leonard had already had one fight against Julian Lane, and he looked really good against Julian Lane, but Julian Lane took his time with him. In that second fight, I don't think Leonard was ready for – when they said knuckle up, Ehlers like dove in with a right hand and popped his eye, or it might have been a left hand. But either way, if you're not ready to shoot out of a cannon, man, you might not be in the right sport, you know?
I like the way you put that. Be ready to shoot out a cannon because it's toe the line, and once you toe the line, knuckle up mean go, right?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
That's right. Knuckle up. Boom.
Well, that's the magic word. Once you get that word, that means let's hit it.
Yeah. You got to with Reggie's got what, 5 BKFC fights already? Maybe 4. I think he's got 4.
I think 6. I think he got 1 loss. He's 5-1, I think.
5-1. Jeez, that's a lot of experience in the bare knuckle ring. But I'm sure you've been hit with a bare fist in your life one time or two, right?
I got into boxing because I love to fight. But the only reason I got into it was to win trophies.
Right. So,
in bare knuckle.
Too loud. Go ahead.
So another aspect of bare knuckle that's different is you can grapple to an extent. Yep. Hold behind the head, get some uppercuts in there, which is a little bit different than boxing. So it seemed as though when I was watching the Gallard fight, I was doing some preparation for Gallard today because he was supposed to be on. And when the fighters were coming together like that, it almost seemed as though he tried to get used to, like, you know, he's used to the boxing aspect, and when the ref comes in and splits the fighters up. How have you been training to take care of that and get your mind set to, like, when another fighter grabs me, like, the ref's not going to come in and break it up until, like, there's absolutely no action?
I've been working with a sparring partner. His name, we know him as in the gym. His name is Goat. And he wanted to get into bare knuckle, so I'm going to reach out to David. It's like 2 guys in the gym that I'm working with who also want to do bare knuckle, so I'm going to reach out to David about them. But Goat has done some UFC fighting, and when we were sparring, he grabbed me with the gloves on. We had gloves on, and he got me behind the head, and he started working that uppercut. But I wasn't worried about the uppercut because he only got 1 hand. I got 2 hands.
Right.
So while he was working his uppercut, I started hitting him to the body and turning uppercuts back. He immediately let me go.
Yeah. It almost turns into, like, when a guy goes to that, it almost turns it into like a hockey fight. You know what I mean? But like you just said, most guys, if someone grabs them behind the head, they try to grab them behind the head and they just start slugging it out. That's smart, right? Man. Go to the bottom. You know, if one hand's up and the other one's here, it leaves all this exposed. You got to rock them ribs.
Exactly. As soon as I hit him with a right hook to the body. He let this head go and put his hand down, and then I went back up top with a hook to the head.
Very nice. Is this now what drew you into the bare knuckle? Like, had you been training other fighters to fight bare knuckle, and you decided, you know what, it's my turn to get in there, or you just saw the growth of the sport and how exciting it is, and you were like, I need a piece of that? I
saw the growth of the sport when Paulie got into it. I reached out to Paulie after he had his performance, and it looked horrible. But I knew Paulie wasn't going to perform the way he's supposed to because Paulie's not a fighter.
What do you mean by that? He's not like a fighter. He's more like a technical boxer than a fighter.
He's a boxer runner. He don't want to sit there and he don't want to take punches and get his face cut and bruised up like that.
Yeah.
This is a dog. This is a dog fight that y'all. Is nothing but a dog fight.
Yeah, we witnessed. We went to Knucklemania. We got to witness it live, and it is totally different. I mean, the sound, the shots when they land, it's like immediate reaction. The skin, the face, the way that bones. You could hear everything. It's absolutely insane, and it's awesome. So kudos to you for stepping in there.
It's funny you say it's awesome.
I love it.
Ain't nothing awesome about when a person get hit, one of them flesh shots, and they go.
The entertainment value is there. Now, I will say that one thing that you got that I don't think anybody in the BKFC on the entire roster is a level of experience like nobody else in that company right now. The amount of fights you've had, the guys you have fought, Miguel Cotto, Floyd Mayweather Jr., like
Zab Judah,
like you fought the best of the best, and you took the, a lot of people say the greatest of all time. That might be recency bias. Floyd Mayweather, you took him all 12 rounds. Like, I honestly, I don't see another guy in the entire company that has the level of experience that you pull.
I understand that, and yes, I bring a lot of experience and a high level to it. But they understand. They say, well, he ain't never done this, so we're gonna take him where he ain't been before. But they don't understand. When I say they, I'm talking about the fans and the bare knuckle fighters that are in 135 pounds in my weight class. They don't understand. I was born to fight.
Yeah.
I've been shot twice. If them bullets couldn't stop me, ain't no way in the hell Reggie's gonna stop me.
Yeah, I think you got an advantage there for sure. So do you plan on staying around 135 or would you move up to that 145? Nate Shook was just on here and he was talking about the possibility of a 145-pound tournament for the vacant title. Would you go up to 145 and think about that? Or do you have plans for that 135 division after Reggie Dat Nguyen is in your sights?
Is Reggie, and then it's that, and then I'm gonna defend, and hopefully they put the tournament, push it back to later on in the year, where I will move up to 145. But I want to defend my title after I win it.
Outstanding.
Is there anybody in BKFC, and I'm not saying look past Reggie or anything, but is there any fight that you're like, I really want that fight in BKFC?
It's funny you say that. It is Travis Thomas.
Yeah?
Travis Thompson?
Yep.
Yeah.
What is it about Travis Thompson that makes you want to fight him?
We were supposed to fight October 16th. That was my debut last year.
Oh.
When he did what he did, asked for more money, that pissed me off.
Okay.
So that broke the fight up.
Huh?
So that broke up the fight.
Yeah, that's why the fight never happened. And David and them couldn't find no one to fill in because it was like 7 days. We got to find somebody. And you're like, Chop, we can't find nobody for you. The commissioner wasn't going to approve another person that they had because he had just got knocked out. He was still on suspension.
So you had already been through a camp. You were 7 days out from that fight when it got scrapped. Oh, I could see where you'd be upset about that.
And I went all the way to the tryouts when they had him in Kansas City. I flew out there for that.
Okay. So Reggie and Dat are in your sights, but Travis Thompson, I think that I could see that happening. I could see you fighting Dat after Reggie. Let Travis Thompson fight Kid Gotti real quick, and then you two meet up afterwards. Look at that, we're matchmakers. What do you say?
Travis may say no. I don't want to fight him. After what I do to Reggie, the only person that's going to fight me next is the champion, Dat. But a lot of the other guys going to be like, David, I'm not fighting Corley. Why? I'm not fighting him. You see what he done to Reggie, and then what I do to Dat,
yeah,
it may be worse than what I'm gonna do to Reggie.
Were you impressed by Dat's performance against Johnny Bedford at Knucklemania?
No, I was impressed by his first fight, the first one, not Johnny fight, because I knew he could beat Johnny.
You saw weaknesses in Johnny's game that Dat could expose, and just you knew it was going to happen.
I knew Dat can outbox him, and don't get into a big slug shootout with him.
Do you think that Bedford is just cutting too much weight to get down there, and that he just fights better at 145? I mean, he's an excellent fighter at 135, but he does cut some weight. He's a big guy.
I didn't even know he was a big guy that cuts a lot of weight. I don't think that's healthy. And I got on the scale today before I trained, 136 pounds and a half.
Oh, wow. So you don't even cut weight for that division. You just walk around that weight.
I walk around at 140 pounds. I leave the gym 137. Wow. I come home, I eat, drink my fluids, go to bed, wake up, go to the bathroom. 138, 139. Go to the gym, work out, train. If it's a boxing day, yeah, we lose a little more weight. If it's not a boxing day, I lose 2 pounds in the gym, easy.
Excellent, man. Well, thank you so much for coming on here. Will you be? Were you down at Knucklemania? Were you there?
Nah, I wasn't there. I wish I could have been there.
Yeah, I was just saying. I don't think
then everybody would have got a chance to see me. They would have got a chance to see me, not just hear about me.
Now, someone in the chat asks, how tall is Chop? Chop is 5'7" compared to Reggie, who is 5'5". So you have a little height on him. You got a little reach on him. Does that matter? Does that matter?
Goodness.
Does that matter to you in a bare knuckle fight, or?
It matters a whole lot. It matters.
Okay.
I didn't even know I was taller than Reggie.
You just found that out?
That matters a lot.
Yeah. He says you gotta let's see about the reach here though. I don't know about his reach. And I wish I did, but I think you got a couple inches in height and a couple inches in reach on him. So you got some advantages. You got the experience advantage. You got the power. You got the knockout power.
That's right. I got the punching power.
There you go. So
I mean, it's gonna be a great fight. I mean, Reggie gonna get knocked out, but we're gonna get him back together and make sure he's able to see his family and enjoy himself afterwards.
Right. And the next time we see you, you'll be main event in a card and not co-main event.
Yes.
Right? Hell fucking yeah, man. How active do you want to be with the BKFC? You want a couple fights a year? You want to get 2 or 3 in this year?
I got to get at least 3 fights in a year. No injuries. My game plan is get it over quick, less injuries. I can fight again.
Hit without getting hit, right? That's the name of the game, right? You don't get hit, you don't get hurt, and then you move on to the next victim.
It's different than bare knuckle. You're going to get hit.
Yeah,
maybe.
I'm going to get hit.
Yeah,
I'm going to get hit.
Line.
Reggie's going to hit me. Which I'm not worried. It's just making sure he don't hit me in the right spot to cut me. That's it.
Awesome. So your prediction before we let you go. Thank you so much for coming on. This was a last minute thing, and I understand you are a champ just for saving the day here. What do you got for prediction?
You already see it.
Second round knockout? 2 rounds.
I got my new logo, 2 rounds. That's it.
2 rounds. So by the end of 2021, where will Chop Chop Corley be?
130-pound bare knuckle champion. 130-pound Pkfc world champion.
I love it, man.
Good man. I wish you the best of luck.
If things go right, I might be 2-time bare knuckle champion, 135 and 145.
Yeah.
I'm about to change bare knuckle.
We're all gonna witness it on March 19th. The start of the Chop Corley era in BKFC begins in Biloxi, Mississippi on March 19th. Before we let you go, do you have any 2 rounds? That's right. So 2 rounds with him, 2 rounds with that.
4.
Yeah, 2 rounds with him, 2 rounds with Dat, 2 rounds with Travis Thompson. You're going to go 6 rounds in 2021 and be a champion with a 1 defense, right? That's about right. Did I get it all?
That sounds great.
All right, man. Go ahead. Shout out your sponsors before we let you go. How can people follow you on social media?
They can follow me on Chop Corley on Instagram. They can follow me on Instagram once again. It's DeMarcus Corley 2019. They can follow my son's page, which is I monitor it. Little Chop. It's little_Chop. And then my Facebook is Chop Corley. I like to thank my sponsors. Kevin's going to let me know who we got aboard for my sponsorship package this week. And I look forward to supporting my sponsors and representing their company as well. Thank you.
Thank you so much for coming on, and big shout out to Kevin Smith for getting you on here with us. We appreciate that, man. We appreciate you as a guest. You have a great night. Yeah, go ahead and show the world on March 19th.
Yeah,
Reggie, get ready, boy. I'm going to chop your head off.
Well, yeah, we're going to try to get Reggie on here next time. We'll do a little face-to-face. All right, man. Have a good night.
Thank you.
Good night. All right.
Later. That was awesome.
Yeah, a little last-minute guest there. I hope everybody enjoyed that.
Yeah, dude, he's a character too, man. He's ultra confident, and for like we said, dude, he's got 86 pro fights. He's fought the best of the best. He's got 28 knockouts, 53 wins. Like, good Lord, the amount of in-ring experience that man brings to the world of BKFC. I would have to scrub that. You know who probably has not boxing, but in-ring experience is Tony Lopez. Remember Tony Lopez? He fought
He
Joey
fought like
Belcher.
1 billion times.
Yeah, Tony Lopez has like 100 fucking
long
fights. Hair. Oh, and Rob Morrow has like 99 fights too. So like, you know, there's a few guys out there that have maybe as many minutes in a ring as Chop, but not too many, dude. That guy's an awesome interview too. I kind of liked it. Let's go ahead and talk about this weekend's pay-per-view, UFC 259. Mike and Mish will make their picks. Mystic Mike, Mystic Mish. Don't go betting money on anything that we say because we're just fans. And we are not in any way telling you to go put money on any of these fights.
Don't do it. No, please don't do it.
Let's check let me jump in the chat room real quick to see who's out there. We got Sam Sigler. What's up, Sam? Joe Ivy's always in the house. We got Ben Field. We got Larry Davis. We got Kevin Smith, Matt Lightning Lyle. Thank you all so much for tuning in. As always, we're just gonna keep this show rolling. We're gonna keep it growing. Joe Ivy says he's been shot twice. What's he got to worry about? No shit.
I feel like that was a missed opportunity. I wanted to say, okay, can we just get into those stories, please? Is it twice in one time, or did you get shot twice in two different incidents? Maybe the next time we'll figure that out.
I bet you we could get him back on, dude. Maybe we could get a little chop on one side of the screen, Reggie Barnett on the other, and let them talk some shit, because I know Reggie has expressed interest in coming on here as well. So you know what? Thursday night freaking mayhem. Why not? Crazy amount of experience. Can't wait to see what he brings to the BKFC. I agree completely. Facebook user. I don't know who you are because I can't see your name, but thank you for tuning in. And we got some smoke show in here, Mike. Her name is Stephanie. I don't know.
I'll have to hit her up after the show. Don't tell my wife.
Yeah, wink, wink. All right. So this weekend is one of the biggest damn pay-per-views that the UFC has put on in a long time.
Oh,
Three title fights. So what me and Mike are going to do here, we're going to slide to the side. We're going to slide to the side. And I'm going to bring the card up, bam, on the screen. We're going to start right at the bottom of the card. We're going to work our way up, starting with the first fight of the night, Mario Batista versus Trevin Jones. Now, Mario Batista is 8-1. His one loss is to Sanhagen, and he's fighting Trevin Jones, who's coming in on short notice. Yeah, Jesus Christ. Short notice, coming on a short notice. He's a late replacement. He's 12-6. He should be 13-6. But this dude he got a TKO win taken away. His last fight was a TKO victory. They fucking turned it into a no contest for a failed weed test. Pop for weed. Get the fuck out of here.
I don't understand that. You know, what is up with this? Now, I'm glad that they changed it, and we're going to call it the Nate Diaz rule forever. And it doesn't matter. It's going to be the Diaz rule.
Yeah.
And when it goes into effect, and I don't know when that is, if it's from now till, going forward, does it start what month? I'm sorry, I don't have that information, but it's bullshit.
Yeah, it's horseshit. So you got an 8-1 Mario Batista, who's got only one loss to Corey Sanhagen, and then you got Trevin Jones coming in on short-term notice. 1, 2, 3. Who you got in that one?
So I'm just gonna have to go with Batista.
Yeah, he was already training. I mean, anytime you got a guy like that who's 8-1, and the guy he lost to is a top 5 stud, and he's fighting a dude on short notice, I mean, you got to kind of go with the favorite on that one. Right. The next fight on the early prelims is Uros Medic versus Elan Cruz. Medic 6-0. He's a Dana White Tuesday Night Contender Series guy. He's got 4 knockouts out of his 6 wins, and he's fighting Cruz, who's 8-5 or 8-3. Also a Tuesday Night Contender Series guys. He lost his last one to Spike Carlisle by TKO. What do you got now?
I'm gonna go with Medic.
Me too.
Jiu-jitsu.
Yeah, of course. You got to.
It's tough sometimes. You fight these guys and they get you in the Cobra clutch. You know what I'm saying? They put you a little figure 4 leg lock. What are you gonna do?
Yeah, but you know what though? For being a jiu-jitsu guy, he also has knockout power. He's got 4 knockouts on his 6 wins. So Medic is our man there. Next up, you got Amanda Lemos. I don't know if I'm saying her name right, and Levina Souza. Souza is a former Invicta champion. She is 14-2. She's 3-1 in the UFC. Got a ton of experience. And she's going against Lemos. She's 8-1 with 5 knockouts. So that's a pretty much tough. I mean, that's a tough call. Souza is the underdog at a plus 175, but I'm going with her. I'm going with the underdog. I'm going with the experience and the former champion. What do you got?
That's the same thing I was going to say. I'm going with the experience there.
All right, moving right along to the Sean Brady versus Jake Matthews. Now, Jake Matthews is your perennial fucking veteran that is constantly fighting. The dude's got a ton of fights, 14 14 fights in the UFC. He's 17-4, but he's going up against Sean Brady, who's 13-0, 3-0 in the UFC. And I wrote down who he knocked out. I mean, he beat Court McGee. He beat I can't even read my own writing. It says Christine. It looks like Christina Aguilera, but it's Christian Aguilera.
Yeah. Court McGee, Nordiev, and Aguilera, Christina Aguilera. He put that bitch back in the bottle.
Yeah.
Okay?
So I'm going with Brady in that one. I think he goes 14-0 after this. I like Jake Matthews.
Absolutely.
He's been around for a long time. He's fought a lot of good people, but I think this kid is the real deal. So
he also beat Colton Smith back in what's the date here? Colton Smith, 2018 in March. So a few years ago.
Sean Brady did.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and his last name's Brady, so he must be great, right?
That's right. Yeah. He's going.
Sean,
he's doing big things.
Dude, Sean Brady's fresh off the Super Bowl victory. Fresh off his 7th Super Bowl. Sean Brady's going to get a knockout on Jake Matthews. Oh, that's Tom. My bad. Yeah, the next fight, I don't even know if I'm going to attempt the other dude's name, but it's Carlos Yulberg versus Kennedy Nechuka. Woo! How do you say that, Mike?
I would just say the N is silent, and I would just say Zekuwu.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Well,
Zekuwu.
dude, Yulberg has very little experience in the ring. He's 3-0 as a pro. He's a Tuesday Night Contender Series guy too.
Yep.
He's got a knockout. He's making his UFC debut, and he's fighting Kennedy. I'll just go with that. He's 7-1. What I like about him, he's a Fortis MMA fighter. Fortis out of Texas is developing fucking straight killers. So Yulberg, I'm sorry, your debut is probably going to go down the toilet because Kennedy is going to knock you out. That's my call.
Yeah, I think I'm going to go with the African Savage.
That's right.
Fight myself.
Yep.
Not too much controversy here between us right now.
No, so we're going to go right into the next one. You got Jordan Espinoza versus Tim Elliott. We all know Tim Elliott. Tim Elliott had a short stint in the UFC way earlier in his career. He came back. He won the Ultimate Fighter. He fought DJ. He is 3-5 since he came back, but he has fought like the best of the best since he's been back. And then you got Jordan Espinoza. Espinoza's 15-8. He lives in Meriden, Connecticut. No, I did not know that either.
Espinoza?
Yeah. He's not from there. He's from New Mexico, but
yeah.
He's down in Meriden, Connecticut. I don't know where he trains. He might train with fucking Glover for all I know. But
right. We better make our way over there.
Yeah, I mean, we should take a ride down to Meriden and do an in-person interview with this guy. But unfortunately, I'm picking against him. I'm going with Tim Elliott. I'm going with the experience. I'm gonna say by decision. Joe Ivy in the comments says second round submission for Tim Elliott. What do you got?
All right, I'm gonna go with Tim Elliott too, and I this is just being biased, and for some reason, when he fought Johnson, he did great. I thought in that fight, to an extent, that he did really good. I mean, people completely, including myself, counted him out of that fight. And yes, it was a little while back, but I feel like he's got a lot of potential. I felt like after that fight, he was really going to take off, and he's hit a little bit of a road bump. He's had a win, but he had 3 losses in a row. But he's going to get back on track. This will be his second win in a row.
Right. Now, me and you have not disagreed on any of these yet. So
no.
That's lame.
That's not neat.
We're not neat. We're going to be getting into some big dogs in a second here.
It's
starting
not neat at all.
Starting with Kaikar France versus Rogerio Bontorin. Kaikar France is an absolute fucking stud out of City Kickboxing. He's on a card with another fellow City Kickboxing fighter in the main event. Kaikar France has lost 2 of his last 3, but they are to Brendan Royval and Brandon Moreno. I mean, you can't hate on that. Bontorin is 15-2, originally a Tuesday night contender series guy as well. He lost to Borg in his last one. Borg missed weight, came in heavy, but I'm going to let you pick first because I want to see what you say.
Okay, so I'm going to go with Kaikara France.
Damn it, man. So am I. Jesus, Mike, we're picking the same guys. That is neat.
The same height.
I think he gets back in the win column. I think it's his night to get back to bounce back. So we'll go with Kaikara France. And like Joe Ivy says, Kaikara France is so entertaining. You can't not be a fan of that guy. So let's see if he gets back in the win column. The next, go ahead. What were you going to say?
I like the whole city kickboxing team. Like I just love their gym and the people that are a part of it.
Dude, they got a great coach. They got Eugene Berriman won the coach of the year 2 years in a row. They got fucking Dan Hooker. They got Izzy Adesanya. They got Kai Car-Fran. They got a stout team over there. Up next is a guy that people like to hate on, Joseph Benavidez, but you got Joseph Benavidez versus Askar Askarov. Askarov is 12-0. You know, he is a Russian. He is Dagestani.
Mm-hmm.
He does have a V in his last name.
Mm-hmm.
I don't like to pick against those kind of guys.
Mm-mm.
But if you look, and I don't know what the last two fights took out of Joseph Benavidez, but do people realize that Joseph Benavidez has 7 losses, and those 7 losses are to Dominic Cruz twice, Demetrius Johnson twice, Devison Figueiredo twice, and then once to Sergio Pettis, who's one of the best flyweights in the world right now. The guy has only lost 7 fights in his career. He's fought 35 times, or how many fucking fights he has? 35. He has 35 pro fights. Dude, I don't. Yeah, Joe Ivy, I gotta put that one up on the screen. She says, "Pick the Russian. They're listening." I'm not gonna. I was gonna go Askar Askarov because I don't go again. I don't pick against the Russians, and especially if he has got a V in his last name. Fuck no. I'm going with Joseph Benavidez here. Go ahead, pick against me.
Okay, well, I am also going to pick what you were going to pick, which is Askarov, and it's not Benavidez. So I'm going Askarov by decision. I think that Benavidez is, I do think that a lot has been taken out of him in the past couple fights, especially. He's, the way that he got hit and choked out in that last fight, it just didn't look good. And he just, I don't know. I feel like he's, I hate to say it because, like, I hate to be so critical of a fighter who's like been at the pinnacle of their career and just hasn't been able to get the title, and I was rooting for him big time. I really was. And I just don't think that he's going to beat Askarov. I think it's going to be kind of like a drag out, knockdown, drag out fight. And he's just going to get grinded out.
All right. So we finally disagree on something, Michael. That's good. We might disagree on the next one as well. You got Song Yadong at 16-4. Song Yadong versus Kyler Phillips. Kyler Phillips 8-1, 5 knockouts. I'm leaning towards the underdog here. I don't know about you. Kyler Phillips' ground and pound is what sells me on this one. I think it's going to be a dog fight, and it's going to be entertaining. But Phillips finishes people on the ground, and if they get the grappling and he gets on top, I think he ends him. Where are you at with this one?
I'm going Song Yadong decision.
Song Yadong decision. I got Kyler Phillips by ground and pound finish. I don't know what round, but I'm just going to say second round, ground and pound. Bye-bye, dong.
Second round sounds like a good ground and pound round.
I'm going to go eat some hay. I could lay down by the bay and make things out of clay. What do you say?
I just may.
Dude, the final prelim before we get into the main card. The final prelim is our boy Dominic Cruz doing his thing. He's back in there one more time. He is fighting Casey Kenny. I really think that they are slapping a disservice on Dominic Cruz. Maybe they're saying his age and his inactivity is why he's the underdog. Casey Kenny is 16-2. He's a very good fighter himself, but I believe Dominic Cruz is not through yet, sir. I believe Dominic Cruz wins this fight by decision, and we see flashes of the old Dom for one more run. What do you say?
Well, if you talk to Dominic Cruz, he's not mad at all about being on the prelims. He thinks that this is the best spot on the card. That's what he said. He said this is the best spot on the card because it's free and everybody gets to see it, and it's the last fight on before it goes to the main card. And a ton of people who watch the prelims don't buy the pay-per-view. So, you know, he's looking at it in a very positive way, because I'm sure he doesn't want to say like, God damn it, I'm on the friggin' undercard and I used to be a damn champion over here, and the company that I work for and I commentate for, they threw me on the undercard. But I kind of agree with them. It is a good spot to be.
It is
Everyone
a good spot.
sees the freaking fight. Like most people aren't going to buy. When I talk to people, hey, did you see the fights? Well, I watched it, but I didn't get the pay-per-view. So more people do see the fights in the prelims, and they're going to see Dominic Cruz beat Kenny, and he's going to put a stamp on it. He's going to come out, because I really think he doesn't actually think that's a great place to be. He wants to be on the main card, and he's going to try to KO Kenny, and I think he's going to do it.
Well, in Dom's secretly thinking in his head, these motherfuckers, the prelims are where old champions go to die. Not tonight, mofos.
Nope.
The cruise train continues. He wins against Casey Kenny in the main spot on the prelims, which leads us into the main card. Holy dog shit, my friend. You got 5 fucking bangers here, starting with Thiago Santos and Alexander Radek. You got Santos, who has lost 2 in a row, but they are to John Bones Jones and Glover Teixeira. He did not look good against Glover Teixeira. Either he did not look good or Glover looked unbelievable, which it was a little bit of both, I believe. And then you got Alexander Rakic. Am I saying it right? Rakic.
Listen, if you're listening right now, we are media credentialed. Okay. So I want to start seeing those emails rolling in
about the
how you
pronunciations.
Yeah, I want the recording from the fighters to how to pronounce their names. Stat. You hear me?
Yeah.
Dana White, Mick Maynard, anybody listening out there? I want that in my email tomorrow.
Joe Ivy helping us out. It's Rakic.
Yeah, Rakic.
Yeah, Rakic. Well, I'm going Rakic over Santos. And I know Santos looked great against John Jones, and a lot of people had him winning that, even with the blown out knee. But this kid, Rakic, is a fucking monster. And I think he is going to be a true contender in that light heavyweight division. And I'm going with him over Santos. I don't know about you.
I am also going with Rakic.
Oh, Jesus, Mike. There's, we've only disagreed on 2 fights this whole entire fucking
That's,
event.
Hey, that's normal, I think,
All right. So we both got Rakic, and we move on to Islam Makashif versus Drew Dober. Drew Dober, the model himself, built like a fucking brick shit house, fighting the next big thing out of Russia. There's a lot of Russian badasses on this card. You got Petryan, you got fucking Islam Makhachev, you got Askar Askarov. This guy is the only Russian that I'm picking on the card the entire night. that's foreshadowing my future picks here. I'm going Islam Makhachev, 18-1, hasn't lost in fucking a lot. Since like he hasn't lost in like 5 years, but he has been off for a year and a half. That's the only thing I think he's got going against him here. Islam Makhachev, by submission.
Okay. Well, I would say Islam Makhachev, and I'm gonna go by decision.
Decision. All right. There's really not much you got to go much into that one either.
No.
I mean, Drew Dober is on a 3-fight win streak, all knockouts.
Yep.
But this is that team there. Now that Khabib has sat down for retirement, all the focus is on Islam Makhachev. He is the next champion. He is endorsed by Khabib, and I can't pick against him. Not on this one, at least.
No.
Up next, you got our boy Aljamain Sterling, the Funk Master, fighting Petr Yan. Petr Yan looks like an absolute killer in his training videos, but we all know Aljo. What do you think about this one?
Okay, so I'm going to tell everybody right now, I'm completely biased. Telling you right now, 100% Sterling all the way. I'm rooting for him. I think he's awesome. He's, somewhat a local guy. We met him in Boston when he was just pretty new to the organization. But I also do have faith, and this isn't like unfounded. Like, it's not crazy that I'm picking him either. He's going to sub Yan. He's going to do it.
I feel the same way. I think his jiu-jitsu is amazing.
Yep.
He comes from Matt Serra. He's his star pupil. You know what I mean? He is a black belt under Matt Serra. He is like a boa constrictor when he gets on his opponent. When he gets on there, you saw what he did to Sandhagen.
Mm-hmm.
Like when he gets his legs wrapped around him, he gets those long arms around them. It's a bad night for anybody in that division. This fight should have been the one for the vacant title to begin with, not Jose Aldo. I don't know what that was all about. I understand they had to sell a pay-per-view and they wanted to just throw Aldo a bone one more time, but it didn't make any sense then. It still doesn't make any sense now. That was Aljamain Sterling's spot that should have been there. Sterling for the win by submission. I'm with you. Third round sub for our boy Aljo.
Nice.
Moving right along, that means that I only picked the one Russian. I don't know about you. You picked two. You got Askarov too. So if I go missing, we all know why. Mike went with the majority over there, so they're all right with Mike.
What do you think the naming process is for Askarov?
Well, when they came up with Askarov?
I just look at the name and I go, what? I don't know. I mean, maybe that's a common Russian name, but like you look at his last name and then they say, hey, what do you want to name your kid? And they just kind of go, I don't even know. We don't have a name. And then they look and they go, Askar? That works.
Do you think that they were filling out the birth certificate and they fuck up and they started to write the last name in the first name spot and they were like, oh shit. They're like, fuck it. I haven't put the OV yet. So we'll just leave it at that. We'll put Askarov.
And the nurse came over and grabbed the paper, but they weren't done. We need to erase that. And they just took it. No, sorry. Too late, motherfuckers. Sam Sinema says toss up. I'll agree with you too, Aljamain Sterling. OV means son of, doesn't it? Jeez, man. Joe Ivy, this girl is, you must have graduated college or something. Me and Mike, we went to the Army. Okay, Joe Ivy. Shoot. That still doesn't explain why his first name is Askar. Askarov. So is it Askar, son of Asgar? Is that what that means? Like, is his father's name Askar and he's a junior? I don't know. I don't know. Maybe that could be it. She'll give us that information in a minute. Good. But while that's happening, let's move right into the co-main event where the Lioness, Amanda Nunes, the greatest of all time in most people's eyes, she's defending her 145-pound title against Megan Anderson, an Australian fighter.
6 feet tall, long ass legs, power to knock people out. But she is the biggest underdog on this card at plus 750. It might be worth putting $20 on her. You know what I mean? At that plus 750, you know, maybe she catches her with a head kick. I believe that Amanda Nunes was Jermaine Durand to me showed that Amanda Nunes is hittable in that last fight with Jermaine. With that being said, I don't know if Megan has all that much of a chance. So what do you say on this one, Mike?
Man, sometimes it's like I always want to be that person. I want to be that person that says, I'm 100% serious. Anderson is going to win this fight. She's going to knock out Nunes and shock the world. Look at right here in front of me. It says Nunes is a 1,205 favorite. Okay.
That means it even went up.
That ain't going to happen.
That went up from this afternoon when it was minus 1,200 at about 3 o'clock this afternoon. So, it went to minus 1,205 now.
Yeah.
For those who don't know, that means you need to put $1,205 down on Amanda Nunes to win 100. It's almost worth it, dude. I don't know. It's like that dude that what did he put like 200,000 on her last time? Whatever that dude did or he put 20 grand to win 2 million or whatever the fuck it was. Like, so she's easy money. I think she's the easiest pick on the card. Do you agree?
Oh yeah, definitely the easiest pick on the card. Well, numbers wise, she's the easiest pick, and I mean skill wise, I think too. And I don't think she's done after this fight. I think she's got a new fire, like someone like I was saying, champions sometimes lose the fire because they've reached the pinnacle of their career. They have to find something to fight for. Well, I think Nunes has found something to fight for now that, so I think it's going to push her a little further in her career. We might see a few more wins before she decides to take off.
Her daughter looks like she could be your third daughter, Mike.
She could. You never know. I'm not saying anything.
Oh my God. Without going off on a completely different path here, where do you see the 145-pound division after this fight? Like, do they scrap that? Like, is there anybody else?
There's nobody.
I mean, they could bring in like Clarissa Shields or Kayla Harrison. But Kayla Harrison, she signed with Bellator? No, she's at PFL right now, but I thought she signed with like Bellator or something like that too. I don't know, man. I just don't see. There's not enough talent out there at 145 pounds to keep that division going. Right. She going to keep fighting Holly Holm and Jermaine Durandamy over and over again at 145 pounds? Get the fuck out of here with that shit.
Is there no one else to fight? I don't understand. We have an entire world of people. You can't find any women who weigh 145 pounds and fight. I don't get it.
Yeah, like we just said, man. The talent pool is very shallow at 145 pounds. I would pay to see a Cyborg rematch if there was any. That's never going to happen because she's over at Bellator now. But that rematch, I would love to have seen that. I would be interested in seeing a Kayla Harrison fight. I would be interested in seeing a Clarissa Shields, someone like that, or Nunes go box Clarissa Shields, like do something. But either way, I think she wins the fight. She goes back to 135. I think Valentina beats Jessica Andrade, and we get that trilogy fight. That's the only thing that makes sense to me. And let's get into the main event. The Polish powerhouse himself, Jan Blachowicz, against Israel Adesanya, the last style bender. Now, Adesanya is 20-0, and he has beaten in a row Paulo Costa, Yoel Romero, Bobby Knuckles, Kelvin Gastelum, Anderson Silva, Derek Brunson, Brad Tavares, Marvin Vittori. The fucking hit list is insane for that guy. One of the best technical fighters on the planet, fighting for the 205-pound light heavyweight title against Jan Blachowicz. The Polish Power on a 4-fight win streak, knocked out Rockhold, went to a decision with Souza, knocked out Corey Anderson, knocked out Dominic Reyes. Where are you on this one, Mike?
Well, I'm going to tell you, when you see somebody with the confidence that Adesanya has to leave 185 and go up what we call one weight class, which is really two weight classes, it's 20 pounds, and he's coming up at an undefeated record, and he has 100 fights too, over 100 fights. He has the confidence to move up. That man knows something that we don't know right now. And he believes every ounce in his being that he's going to win this fucking fight. Why the hell would he leave somewhere where he is crushing people? And he's doing good. And he's doing really good. And I feel like Costa and Blachowicz are somewhat similar. Big guys, they have power. I just don't think that Blachowicz is going to be fast enough to fight Adesanya. And sure, he has power, but he has to land, and he has to land clean. And Adesanya is a little bit longer than him, not as long as he was against Costa, but he's longer. He's confident. He's going up. I think he's going to be faster. I think he's going to have more precision, and I think he's going to win the fight.
Do you think he wins by decision? That's what you said, decision?
He probably will win by decision. Blachowicz is a very durable guy. He is a big boy. So I don't know if Adesanya's power is going to transition to be able to take out Blachowicz. But then again, precision is power.
Yeah.
If he can get him and hit that button, it could be night. And obviously it could be the other way around, but I don't think it's going to be. I really don't.
Okay, well, here's what I'm going to do. And I have been on the Izzy side of this fight all the way up until now. Okay. So here's why Jan Blachowicz is going to win this fight. When they weigh in, and Joe Ivy just put it in the comments, she's right. He said he might weigh in 12 pounds under. I don't believe him. He'll probably be right around 205. But he won't be any bigger than that when it comes time to step into the cage the next day.
They won't let him fight if he lays in at 12 pounds under. It's never going to happen.
Never going to happen. Okay, so
no way. I don't think they would let him fight if he was that small. You think they're going to let him fight?
I don't know.
I don't think so.
I don't know if there's rules against that, but
yeah.
But in the TV show Kingdom, Jay Kalina weighed in at 147 pounds for a 155-pound fight when he was all strung out on cocaine and heroin. But so hear me out here.
Maybe he's pulling a John Jones, is what you're telling me.
So Israel Adesanya is going to come in there. He's going to be weighing about a 202, 203 pounds under the 205 limit. Jan Blachowicz is going to weigh in at 205 because he's a champion, and that's what champions do. They weigh in at champion weight. He's going to be 220 pounds when he steps into the ring on Saturday.
Mm-hmm.
Israel's going to try to stay on the outside. He's going to try to pick him apart. Jan's going to have to grapple. And I think that he is that big and powerful enough, and he has a strong enough chin to go through some of the strikes of Israel Adesanya to get his hands on him and then get him to the floor. Putting his body weight on him, grappling him, tiring him out on the mat. Jan Blachowicz is going to win by ground and pound on Saturday night. That is my call. Ground and pound. He is going to dude, I thought of this today at about 5:00 this afternoon. I hope to baby Jesus Mish'n is right. See, Joe Ivy.
Really?
I am so confident in this. I'm telling you. I went on DraftKings this afternoon. You guys are going to probably say, yep, you're an idiot. But I bought into about, $30. I had a bunch of money in my DraftKings account. So I bought into like $35 worth of DraftKings. I put Jan Blachowicz in every single one of my lineups. Then I went on Verdict verdict. I went on verdict. I picked Jan Blachowicz by third round ground and pound. Or
Nice.
third round knockout due to ground and pound. He will put the body on him. He will run through. And then I'm so confident in this. Israel probably going to knock him out. But
I don't know if he's going to knock him out. But.
Dude, I am going. Israel Adesanya's trip up to middleweight goes very similar to Rockhold and very similar to Corey Anderson and very similar, not Corey Anderson, Jacare Souza. These guys are blown up middleweights trying to go fight a true light heavyweight who will walk in there at 220 pounds with the power to knock any man out on this planet. Once he gets his hands on him, once he gets him down, he will drop some of that Polish power on the ground, win by ground and pound.
Just too big, you're saying. He's just too big, too strong.
You've seen him. You've seen him. You know how dangerous he is. You can't win. You know what I mean? Israel's girlfriend should be pulling an Adrian the night before they fight.
I think there's a reason why we don't see Izzy grapple.
Yeah, well,
because people don't want to grapple with him.
Well,
they can't get to him. You know.
Well, that's why listen. This is coming from a Russian Polak here. I am a Russian Polak. That's why I am super strong and sort of dumb. So I know what I'm talking about. I'm telling you, the Russian Polak Mystic Mish is telling you Jan Blachowicz, third round, ground and pound. Go to the casino, Mohegan Sun. They have legalized sports gambling in Connecticut. Yep. Go put all your life savings on Jan Blachowicz.
Put your mortgage on. Put your house on it.
Oh my God, Jesus! Right? Okay, changing my pick. Oh my God! Yep, changing my pick to Jan. I'm telling you, Joe Ivy's on this. She smart girl, man. Smart girl. She's going with Mystic Mish. I'm going to the Mohegan Sun tomorrow. I'm putting my mortgage on it.
Okay, you should actually.
Not going to do that. But I will be watching on Saturday night. What an unbelievable card.
Yep. I don't know. When I think Israel Adesanya, and I put them with the likes of Luke Rockhold, Ronaldo Souza, Corey Anderson, I just say these people I don't think are on the same level. I don't think they're bad fighters, but they're just not on the same level. Now, Dominic Reyes, I would say he's good, but I think people give him a little more credit because of what he did to Jones, but Jones doesn't really look as good as he used to. So it's not like he beat a prime. I mean, he didn't win, but we all think that he probably won. I'm sure most people did, but I just don't, I put him in the same boat as Bobby Knuckles, Dominic Reyes. I feel like they're kind of similar, and we saw what happened with that too. But that was at middleweight, so we'll see.
It's an exciting card, and I cannot wait for this weekend, dude.
I can't wait.
It's going to be fucking awesome. Which fight on that card are you most excited about, the main event?
I am very excited about that fight, but I might be slightly more excited about the Aljamain Sterling fight because I really want to see Aljamain win that belt. I really want to see him win that belt so bad.
Me too. That's the main event and that one. That one's you got the main event, then you got the people's main event, and in the female fight in the middle. No disrespect to them, it's just her dominance doesn't put too much excitement into that fight. You know what I mean? Right. It's just like another lamb to the slaughter. You know what I mean? Yep. Another lion, another lamb getting fed to the lioness. So
yep.
Is what it is for that one. One hell of a card Saturday night. Mike, how do you want to wrap this up?
Hey, I just want to thank Nate Shook, BKFC matchmaker, and Chop Corley for the last minute save.
Coming through. Actually, I want to thank the man himself, Kevin Smith, for grabbing us Chop, man. We were supposed to have one guy. He got caught up in training. Kevin Smith is a stand-up dude, and he came through for us. 2 nights in a row, a guest falls off, but this time we got that quick replacement, and I'm grateful for that. One hell of a show. I think we went long enough. We got an hour and 44 minutes in here. Yep. We both got to work in the morning, so
that's correct.
I want to thank everybody that's in the in the chat still after an hour and 44 minutes. You guys must really like Mike and Mish for sure. Appreciate you all. You guys have a great night. We will see you soon. Oh, tune in to Mission Accomplished Wednesday. I will have Bobo O'Bannon. I will have Adrian Miles. And I will have Zion Tomlinson. Then Mike and myself here have 2 guests next Thursday. We got Audra Cummings, new BKFC female fighter who was supposed to be making her debut on the March 19th Biloxi card, but her opponent pulled out. I don't know if she got hurt or why, but Randy Neckholm pulled out of the card. So we'll talk to Audra about that. We'll figure out when she's getting in there. And we'll also have Matt Lightning Lyle on. He's going to talk to us one more time before he goes down to Mexico to fight for that world title and bring that Muay Thai title back to Atlantic City like a motherfucking boss.
Awesome.
All right, man. All right. We will talk to you guys later. Thanks for tuning in. Peace.